Time to make the bread. It's coming out pretty good this morning. I think we're ready. It's been about 10 minutes of mixing, and now I'm going to cover it and give it an hour, and then we'll start with our next step, which is putting in starters. So, time to rest. All right, it's been an hour. Everything's coming along pretty well. I did not put any wheat in it yet, any wheat flour this time around, but I'm gonna add wheat starters so everything evens out, sort of. So, add my salt. Make sure it doesn't get, it starts to get a little bit of a skin, but that you can break that up pretty quickly. I know the weather plays a little bit of a factor in all of this. So today is a pretty hot day, middle of August in Houston. So I don't know how much that's going to play, but I mean today's dough feels pretty good from the start, which is nice. It's nice to have it kind of work your way for once, but hopefully everything will work out. But I'm also just doing the white, like I said earlier, and hopefully, I mean, I've had pretty decent luck with the white, just the white, so. Be about 10 minutes of folding this in. Okay, I think it's mixed up pretty good. It's interesting to see how the wheat mixes in pretty well. Okay, we got an hour in. We're looking at our first fold. Notice it's still doesn't look too still looks pretty rough is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so This is nice and set. It was kind of gooey, but after the folds, actually there's an air pocket right here, look at that. So after the folds, it's starting to smooth out and look like it's supposed to. So I was a little bit apprehensive about it all, but I think everything's good now. So give it about an hour to rest, and we'll give it our second fold. Get my pan out. We're about to fold. I folded twice, and I just didn't do it on camera. It's the same thing over and over again. I just was trying to save time. We're far enough into the video that nobody watches this, but it's Monday and I'm working right now, so I'm doing this in between when I have time for work. From work, I should say. So, come in, do these little pieces. That's the nice thing about the bread. I can do multiple things during the day and not have to be over the top of the bread constantly. It's not like something, it's not like when I make the blueberry muffins where I have to just work on the whole time. It's a little bit jiggly, that's what I want. It's nice and big. So this is set. I'm gonna make it into a nice big rectangle and then flip it, get it nice and stretched out. Give me my four corners and stretch them in. Nice and stretched. So that way, when I start, I don't move with it. I move and let the bread come towards me so it'll stretch it as much as I can. The more stretching, the better. Gets it nice and tight. I found that this method gives me a nice, smooth, pretty looking loaf. So then I just curl it all underneath. And look at that. It looks really pretty. It holds up really nice. The edges may get a little bit wonky, but not really, because when I put it in here, I'm not really worried about it being too perfect, because I'm gonna let this sit for about 2, maybe 3 hours, and in that time it's gonna rise and it's gonna expand, and it's gonna take up all that space, so I don't have to worry about squishing it down. I don't even do that anymore. So what I'm gonna do, leave this like this. I'm gonna cover it with the saran wrap and let it sit for, it's about noon. I'd like to start baking around 2, but whatever the bread tells me it needs, we'll do that. We're in good shape. Could cover it and wait a little while longer. Okay, it's wrapped up. The oven is preheating. It's like 2:30, so I'll probably get it in the oven just before 3. It takes a few minutes for the oven to warm up, but everything's looking good. Okay, I'm going to take the aluminum foil off and we'll take a look. Looks good. Setting a timer for 22 minutes. Let's take a look. This is all white flour except for the starter, which is wheat. So the color is pale, but it's fine. Have good rise on it. It looks pretty good. It's really pale, but I mean we'll fix that with this time. So about 22 to 24 minutes and we'll be good to go. I put it on for another 5 minutes. No, another 3 minutes, and I think we're in good shape. So it just went off. I think we're done. looks fake. Smells really good. It's nice and smooth. Looks really pretty. Yeah, it looks great. Smells really good. But yeah, look how it's really smooth looking. It looks fake. There's a lot of little bubbles. Now we just gotta let it rest. Give it a few hours and cut it open. There we go. This is all-purpose white flour, unbleached, and then the starter, which is wheat. The crumb looks good. My wife off camera getting me oohs and ahs. Seems a little bit fluffy, which is nice. But yeah, the crumb looks good. Choose your, pick your one. This one? Okay. Because of how like white it is, I was concerned about getting enough color on the crust. I think I did. Tastes good. The flavor's a little bit lighter because it's really the starter that has to do all the heavy lifting, I guess. But I like the texture. It's still a tiny bit damp, I think, but I went like this and I didn't show you the bread. It's a little bit damp, but that's just, that'll be gone by tomorrow morning. And plus, I'm going to toast it anyway. I always toast it. I think that's the best flavor. But I like this. It's a little bit more delicate flavor, but it still has a sourness in it. So I hadn't made, I have made one all white like this, but I gave it to my in-laws, and they seem to like it. So I was like, oh, this is the 20th loaf. I might as well do this. I haven't done an all white one yet. So, came out pretty good.